Hello and welcome to our very first annual report. Kite Community Housing was developed from a successful ballot in 2011 where you voted for a new landlord because at the time the government were taking 50% of the rent collected by the council. This meant that they couldn't keep your homes up to the standard that you would like. We can, now and in the future. This is a tenant-led organisation, so I can think of no better way of showcasing all of our achievements in the last year by handing over to our very dedicated, very professional and enthusiastic tenants. So sit back and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to our first annual report for Kite Community Housing, which focuses on the period from the 1st of April 2012 to the 31st of March 2013. In our report we'll be looking at what's important to us. Things like, have we been meeting all the promises we made in the offer document? Are we making improvements like we said we would? Are we being smart with your money? Are we still striving to provide excellent services? And what plans have we got for the future?
Firstly, how do we keep up with and track all that's been happening at Red Kite? Benny, would you like to explain?
We have an excellence index which has 5 clear sections. These are excellent quality affordable homes, excellence in partnership with communities and stakeholders, excellent value for money services, an excellent organisation with excellent service.
And each of these sections has a number of key areas we look at to make sure our performance keeps improving.
So let's have a more detailed look at them now.
This section is simply about what we are doing to make sure our homes are brought up to the Red Kite standard and kept that way.
Only 67% of us were happy with the quality of repairs as of the 31st of March 2013. That's why we, the tenant and leaseholder core procurement group, have been so involved recently in recruiting our new repairs and maintenance contractor. We were involved from the outset in drawing up the specification and appointing the new contractor, which we believe will provide the excellent service that we want. We made sure that what we want as tenants was included in the new contracts, such as choice of products and materials and getting the job done right first time.
The rigorous selection process has made sure that we'll be getting much better value for money than if we had rushed into a full improvement programme from day one. The work we have done has meant that the new repairs contract will save around £300,000 each year. The core group were even nominated for a national award for our work.
Ian Williams is our new repairs and maintenance contractor, selected by us for their excellent standards of service and dedication. They started in July. We're confident that they will really improve the repair service. That is the day-to-day repair service, and outside of that is the actual improvement work, which we know you're keen to hear about.
Well, £103 million was set aside at transfer to make sure homes are brought up to the Red Kite standard by December 2016. We also have a panel of new contractors in place, again chosen by us as tenants, so we can start to make an impact here. We hope that this time next year we will see our satisfaction levels around how happy we are with the general condition of our homes increase as a result. Last year, 66% of us were satisfied with the general condition of our homes.
Arguably, the most important thing we do is the improvement works. A total of almost 2,000 were completed between the 1st of April 2012 and the 31st of March 2013. 322 bathrooms, 470 kitchens, 237 central heating upgrades, and 597 door replacements.
Well, I had the kitchen fitter come in with his computer, accompanied by a tenant liaison officer, and they gave me a choice for my kitchen of tiles, floor surfaces, paint, worktops, cupboards, and I made my selection, and then he designed the actual layout of the kitchen. and the kitchen fitters came in and did it, and I'm thrilled to bits. It's beautiful. After 31 years, I didn't think I'd ever have a new kitchen, and I've got it and I'm delighted.
We plan to complete thousands more next year. You can find out more about our improvement programme on our website.
This section is simply about how we are working together with Red Kite in our communities.
This is the best way we can show how Red Kite is tenant-led organisation, as nearly 100 decisions and changes were made between the 1st of April 2012 and the 31st of March 2013, thanks to all of us. The decision included things like the location and fit out of new offices, interviewing and appointing new Red Kite staff, and appointing our new ground maintenance contractors.
I think it's extremely very important that to be tenant-led. It gives you the opportunity to be on our board or one of our interest groups, to become either a vice chair or a chairman on that particular group. It gives us an ideal opportunity to find out what Red Kite actually does and how we as tenants and leaseholders can get involved in that with Red Kite on a mutual partnership. I've actually seen lots of changes over the last year with Red Kite, which has involved our tenant and leaseholders, and it's been really beneficial in my eyes that involvement was there, and it's a mutual respect, and I look forward to working with Red Kite in the future.
£400,000 is available each year for tenants to spend on improvements to their neighbourhoods, such as car parking improvements, landscaping and increased security. Applications are considered by our neighbourhood interest group, which is made up of tenants and leaseholders, so the way we spend the money really is tenant-led and means improvements to our communities can be made a reality. The budget took a while to get up and running following the transfer, which meant we only spent £20,000 from this pot last year. However, the remaining money has been moved over to the pot for this year. Application forms can be downloaded from the Red Kite website.
We also have a community fund of £100,000 a year to spend on projects or facilities which improve the quality of life for local residents. Last year we spent a total of £31,500 on projects such as a youth worker for Lane End Youth Club, Money Matters and Respect workbooks for Cressex Community School and High Crest School, and also appointing a Movers and Shakers coordinator for the Wickham district. Visit the website for more information on how to apply for either of these funds.
This section tells us how we are trying to make the best use of our housing stock. That's about maximising our rental income and making sure the money we receive in rent is spent wisely for our benefit. Some tenants find that once their families have grown up and left home, they're living in homes that are too big for their needs. By moving to a smaller property, they can have a home that is easier to look after and is affordable. It also means that a family who needs larger accommodation can make good use of a home that was previously underoccupied. Last year, 31 tenants downsized. By encouraging more to do the same, we don't have to spend money adapting homes where we don't need to. More and more people are doing this, and it's really helping those of us who are affected by the welfare reform changes, because a home that is too big is more expensive. You can find out more about these changes on our website.
This is how long it takes to make empty homes ready for new tenants. The quicker we do this, the better, as all the time a home is left empty, we're not receiving any rent for it. Last year we lost around £63,000 a month through voids. By reducing the time it takes to let these homes, we can better spend the money to improve things elsewhere. We're not doing as well as we'd like with voids, but we have processes in place to make sure we do better in the future, like making sure the right team deal with the right steps at the right time.
We have a number of sheltered housing schemes that have homes which are hard to let for a variety of reasons. For example, they are bedsits, there aren't any lifts, or they are a long way from the shops. This means we have been losing valuable rental income. We have therefore been looking at what we can do with them and have been consulting with tenants who live there to make sure we offer value for money and can maintain the schemes. By January next year, we will have made a decision about the 10 schemes that are under review. We are regularly in touch with the tenants that are affected by this, and nothing will be done without full consultation with them. We think it's better to get it right, which is why it has taken a little while. We realise this is a difficult time, but we are working as quickly as possible to come up with a solution. In the future, this review will mean that our sheltered schemes are suitable for everyone living in them, and they give us value for money.
This section does exactly what it says on the tin. We should be happy with everything about Red Kite.
We want this to be 100%, but we're only halfway there. As between 1st April 2012 and 31st March 2013, 52% of us said we trusted Red Kite. That's why we need your all-important feedback, so we can change things to improve this figure. Please make sure you fill in any surveys we send and let us know what you like and what you don't like about our services.
70% of us said we were satisfied with the overall service between 1st of April 2012 and 31st of March 2013. But we're aiming for 100% in the future. So we'll be asking you whether you think you have received an excellent service when we carry out any improvement works. This gives you the freedom to tell us exactly what you think so that we know what we're doing well and what we need to change.
This section asks whether we are happy with all the elements that make up Red Kite. For those people who experienced antisocial behaviour, 94% were satisfied with how we dealt with the issues between the 1st of April 2012 and 31st March 2013. It's great news for those who need our support, and we want to continue this. So we have a range of effective methods, such as new recording equipment, good neighbour cards, and signposting to a mediation service. More generally, 8% of us were satisfied with our neighbourhoods, which is really great news.
Between the 1st of April 2012 and the 31st of March 2013, 69% of us thought that the Red Kite staff were friendly and approachable. The first point of contact we have with our landlord is the most important. That is why we are working to improve these figures. Red Kite's offices close every Wednesday so that we can make sure we spend dedicated time developing and training staff so that they can give us the best service possible.
We've told you about the way we measure how we're doing, and now we thought you'd like to know a bit about money. For example, what we've done with the rent and service charges you've paid, and how we spent the money we collected between 1st of April 2012 and 31st of March 2013. This bit shows where all our money came from and how we spent the money we got. We're using every penny to improve your homes and the services we provide to you. £30,347,000 came from rent payments. £1,265,000 came from service charges. £681,000 came from garage and shop rents. £465,000 came from a Supporting People grant. £371,000 came from leaseholder charges and other income. And we received £3,434,000 from right to buy sales. You can see that almost all our money came from rent and other charges paid by tenants and leaseholders. 35 homes were sold under the right to buy legislation, but although we got the money from the sales, it means we get less rent in future years. And we haven't needed to borrow any more money from our lenders at all this year. And this is how we spent the money we got. We spent £8,498,000 on improvements. £5,030,000 was spent on repairs and maintenance. £9,939,000 was spent on housing management and communal costs. We spent £1,312,000 setting up the new offices and IT equipment. The new offices are no more expensive than the old ones, but importantly provide a place where staff, tenants and leaseholders can all work and meet together. £834,000 was lost income because of empty properties and bad debts. The interest payable on our loans cost £4,296,000. Supporting people's service costs were £885,000. We also spent £398,000 on other costs. We haven't started the new major improvement contracts yet, but we have still spent £8.5 million improving our homes this year. Overall, we received more money than we spent last year, but this will be needed to pay for the major improvements planned for the next 4 years.
Next up, we review some of the other promises that were made to us. Lots of promises were made which will be delivered over 5 years. So we won't see everything happen straight away, but we can be sure that we'll see their effects by December 2016. Here are just a few of them.
Tenants and leaseholders will continue to be instrumental in choosing contractors in the future. Having already been heavily involved in choosing our repairs and maintenance contractor, improvement works and ground maintenance, we will also be involved in choosing our cleaning contractor.
These are homes in our district that were built post-war as emergency housing. The houses have been built in a certain way that mean they now need a lot of work to get them up to the Red Kite standard. We've recently started a pilot programme to bring about lots of positive changes and improve these houses for our tenants who are now involved in the project the whole way through.
We said we wouldn't increase the rent any more than the rate of inflation plus 0.5%, plus £2 a week, even if the government formula for calculating rent is changed, and we have kept our promise.
In line with Red Kite's promises to tenants living in the Castlefield area, we have just started our first ever regeneration project. This is a very exciting project where we will see better homes and opportunities for the local community. Personally, I'm extremely passionate about this project as it will enhance the tenants' quality of life and create a better living environment.
We regularly tell all our fellow tenants and leaseholders about how we are doing with our promises, and the best way to hear this news and stay in touch is to keep an eye on our website. It's very informative. Our quarterly Red Kite news, which our tenant and leaseholder editorial panel produce, a brilliant read, and our Facebook and Twitter accounts where you can join in and post a comment.
So, looking back on the past year, how can we summarise everything we have done? Through the power of photos and video clips, of course. So, sit back, relax and enjoy the last bit, which highlights what we've done in our first year as Red Kite. Looking ahead, we have many more projects to start, and we will of course tell you about them over the next year, as well as in our annual report for 2013 to 2014. So that was just a whistle-stop tour of last year. Busy, wasn't it?
If you take one thing away from this video, we'd like to hope it's just how much we as tenants and leaseholders are in the driving seat at Red Kite.
Our input isn't just limited to producing this video. We contribute to Red Kite every day, and everyone's voice is heard.
In the past year, Red Kite has nearly 700 pieces of feedback from tenants and leaseholders and held almost 90 tenants and leaseholders meeting. Our feedback is key as it's what shapes the future of Red Kite.
So come and join us, get involved and help shape Red Kite for the future. We are a tenant-led organisation and your input really does count. That's a wrap.